Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome to Yuuki Yuuna is a Hero. And I really had to consciously stop myself to not sing it into the sound of the Captain Planet jingle, because it's like perfect. Yuuki Yuuna is a hero, right? Am I the only one? Probably not. But yeah, regardless of that, Yuuki Yuuna, welcome. This is the winner of the poll. The video with the poll results has just been uploaded. And now, not waiting for anything, I'm just gonna watch it. I know very little about this show. I know that it's a Mahou Shoujo show. I know that it's not like, pure Mahou Shoujo show, meaning it's not the, classic defeating muffin monsters with hard beams, but rather there is some, some darker shenanigans going on, kind of like in Magic Record, not just Magic Record, Madoka Magica in general, or other Mahou Shoujo shows that came after Madoka, because the trend kind of shifted, right? From pure Mahou Shoujo shows, we got into the twisted Mahou Shoujo shows, and that's basically the Mahou Shoujo genre by now. It's everything is just twisted one way or another. Regardless, we're gonna be watching Yuuki Yuuna as it was airing a decade ago, because this show aired in 2014. I believe I've seen like 2 episodes, but I don't remember anything from them besides school, Henshin, Another World. And that's basically it, with no context whatsoever. So this will be basically a fresh watch to me. Not to mention there's a lot of Yuuki Yuuna apparently. I was constantly under the impression that it's a fairly niche show. It's a fairly niche franchise, that it had an anime, maybe there was a manga, I don't know, maybe it got a sequel or a couple of OVAs, and that's about it. But no, apparently it's a whole ass franchise. There's multiple anime, there's multiple manga, there's light novels, drama series, fucking PS Vita game. A PS Vita game. There is a lot to it. So I've no clue what I have gotten myself into. We're just gonna watch and see, of course. If you're new to the channel, the structure of my videos is usually the intro, when I ramble either about the previous episode, and in case there was no previous episode, then after about what I expect from the show, what I know about it, what I do not know about it. Then we're gonna watch it, of course, with subtitles and a timer, because YouTube. Then we're gonna go through it again in this little window. I'm gonna skip through, go through some animations frame by frame if need be. I'm gonna have some more time for commentary. Then usually I just do my closing thoughts, but because it's the first episode, we're gonna go back to this, except with a browser, and I'm gonna go through the details of the show, who makes it, who are the seiyuu, etc, etc, etc. That's what you can expect. And yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, right, and because it's a non-seasonal show, it arrives early for my Patreons for $10 for $10 a month. For $10 a month, you can get early access to Yuuki Yuuna. If you want up to 1 week early, I might be a little late, up to a day, sometimes more, but usually not. Usually not. So if you want to watch episode 2 right now or soon enough, it's gonna be up on Patreon, and of course then it releases on YouTube uncut, completely the same way as it was on Patreon. So here's my Patreon name, it's also linked in the description, so feel free to peruse, and maybe you will find a tier that fits you. And also you can support me on YouTube, but there are no like benefits tied to it. And I think that's gonna be it for the intro. I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit nervous about it. I am a little bit nervous because it's another Mahou Shoujo show. Another Mahou Shoujo show with a twist. It's basically a running theme of my non-seasonal shows. I started with Symphogear, then there was Review Starlight, Madoka, and now Yuuki Yuuna, and probably Precure is gonna be next if my viewers, that is you, are going to have their way about it. We'll see though. Anything can change. So from Magia Record, I'm jumping straight into Yuuki Yuuna, straight into another Mahou Shoujo show. We'll see how it goes. Well, not quite straight. I had like 2 weeks of a break as I was waiting for the poll results. So yeah, here we are, and I should not be stalling any longer. We should just start watching it. And to do it, you will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I forgot to mention, I am watching the Pookie release. That is Beatrice Ross and something subs. Beatrice Ross and Senshi subs. So if you want to match perfectly, that's what you will need to procure. And if not, then, I mean, suit yourself. You can see the subs, you can see the timer, you can match it to your release, of course. So, you're gonna need your subs. As I said, I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not share my content, spread the word. It costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 1 of Yuuki Yuuna wa Yuusha de Aru in 3, 2, 1, go. Apparently there's a whole watch order to it as well. A classic story. Is it like an allegory to what we can expect from the plot of the show? The demon lord not truly being evil or something like that? I don't know. We have the yellow one, the black one or green one. And then we have the red one, of course. And the... Show your true colors. My bet is blue. You gotta have blue. Oh, a wheelchair. Interesting. Okay, she's yellow. And she's yellow? No. We can't have 2 yellow Megukas. The wheelchair is interesting because it makes me wonder whether she will like become fully able after she henshins. If it's maybe like one of her motivations for becoming a Meguka, right? Maybe. Mm-hmm. Neighbor next door. Gotcha. Oh, so kind of like, what was it? Medaka box? Yeah, that was the anime where you would like put a request in a box and the main characters would fulfill it. I just vaguely recall that anime. I think Yahaora, yeah, the club in Yahaora was also like a help club, self-help club, something like that. Japanese countryside. Face the divine tree. Pray. That is not usual in Japanese schools, I don't think. Is it like a religious school of some sort? Are they gonna be the warriors of Jesus? Studio something. Domestic Sciences and Hero Club Room. Official. I honestly halfway expected their club to be unsanctioned. Maybe, formally they're like the tea ceremony club or something, but they call themselves a hero club, but no. 5 tenets. Those are some nice messages there. They stumble upon their equivalent of a Kyubei when chasing after the cats. Ah, computer genius. Yep. Responsiveness is important. Great majority of people access the web from phones. Oh, she's using jQuery UI. Oh, udon. I could go for some udon. I really could go for some udon. Hmm. What is so special about this year? Okay. They weren't able to participate in full, I guess, the previous year, so this year is important. Maid Cafe? Probably, that's the classic. Scary House? That's another classic for the main characters to do. And she's the glutton. We're slowly forming our archetypes. Hearts helping. Okay, interesting. That's an interesting chat interface. Someone probably replicated it as a skin on IRC or something. Or Telegram. Huh? All members consistently at high level? What was that? Are you a Meguka? Is that why you eat so much? Because you burnt. She's absolutely. Yeah. She absolutely is a Mahoushoujo. And that's why she eats so much. Because she burns a lot of energy. Orphans? Is them being orphans somehow related to the Mahou Shoujo world? I wonder. I really like seeing all those accommodations for a wheelchair. It's something that I honestly would not think about, to be honest with you. I would just be like, oh, she gets to the second floor with magic, anime magic. But no. Who didn't turn off their phone? Forest Eyes warning? She's also a Meguka? Are they all Megukas? What's going on? What the fuck is going on? Is it my... Jesus. I was afraid it's my video glitching. Okay, so the time just froze. She was chosen to be a Meguka. Well, that's one way to do it. Okay, and this event is called like freezing or frozening or whatever, right? And she's been pulled into it as well. Huh. You're a wizard, Harry. Mm-hmm. So there's no Kyubey. At least not as far as we can tell. It's like the world that chooses them. Ah, yes. The dark Mahou Shoujo music. About what I expected from the music theme. Worse. It's a rainbow tsunami. And that puts them in another world. Is that what I remembered from my first watch? Is that how they get to another world? Yeah, seems to be the case. Where the hell are we? A Technicolor forest. She can walk. 100%. In this world, she can walk. And it becomes a dilemma. No, I want to stay in this world, Yuki-san, because I can walk, or something like that, right? It's gonna happen. I can see it. It would be a collective daydream. Yeah, looking at her legs. Trembling. But brave. That's what bravery is, isn't it? It's not the lack of fear, it's the strength to act despite being afraid. They hacked your iPhone. Okay, so the gang is together. That's good. Explain, please. party. Okay, so one of them is... Yeah, one of them is blue. Did she make it ahead of time, like in case this happens? Or did she pull them into this world by doing that? Mm-hmm. What is Taisha? Right, the Divine Tree. So like a government branch, a religious organization, something in between. The whole club? Chosen by whom? By the tree? By the tree. Hmm. So, like, there are some... That's the enemy. So are they like the protectors of the holy tree? Something like that? CG... something looking thing. Yep, classic. She means kill the world. Okay, so it's basically Yggdrasil. Yeah, they're the protectors of Yggdrasil. Where's the Henshin button? I mean, you're heroes, right? Not right now, you can't. Press the Henshin button. Mm-hmm. A sapling. More? No, it just disappeared, or it just attacked? Yeah, it's attacking. Not when you're in a wheelchair, you can't, but I'm assuming Henshin can get you out of it. Okay, Yuuna is her name, not Yuki. Sorry. Henshin, then. You don't really have much choice. You can't fight as you are now. Okay. And she has a different symbol. That's a nice Henshin sequence. Something between like the classic Sailor Moon Henshin and of course a panty shot. And something more elaborate like in Great Sword! Hey, I'm down! Something between the classic Sailor Moon turns into single color and then gets out Henshin, and between something more elaborate like in I don't know, not review. What am I thinking of? Symphogear, of course, yeah. And what does she get? For a weapon? Nothing. Or are her bracelets her weapons? She's a brawler. Maybe. Yeah, that's your Meguka power. You can jump really high. Okay, so they're not like your personal mascots Cubase style. They're like inhabitants of this world who just come to help you. Not a brawler. She uses like strings things. Also, she was falling in CG. Just thought I'll mention that. As you can see. Fair assumption. Yeah, don't get distracted, maybe. Exactly. Hope your phone is fine. It isn't fine. Okay, time for Yuuna to step in, right? Alternatively, time for the episode to end because we're already 20 minutes in. So they could hit us with a cliffhanger, but no. Not the case, it seems. Quick decision. We do it or we don't. Especially since you do have a power to help. Just press the button. And she did, right on time. Is she the brawler? Please tell me she's a brawler. That's some really nice music. I'm getting exactly what I wanted from Hibiki in Symphogear, partial transformation. And it's only the first episode, and my wish has already been granted. And full transformation. Weapons? No need. Just a hero punch. Yep. That's a hype episode. And it's also very weird not hearing Aoi Yuki here. I fully expected her to be Aoi Yuki. Then again, what do I know? Not like I would be able to recognize Aoi Yuki if she doesn't want to be recognized. That was nice. That was a really nice first episode. Got me sufficiently hyped. Provided a nice but not too harsh cliffhanger, right? Nothing is as cruel to us as the truth. We're getting a taste of Henshin's. Yeah, she uses strings of some sort. I don't see the black-haired one, the wheelchair girl, Henshin anywhere. Oh, no. Let's not watch what the next episode is. Please don't. I don't want to get spoiled. So, we're gonna end this watching here, and now we're gonna watch this episode again, shall we? Yes, we shall, of course. Yes, we shall. Yeah, a nice entry. We must talk until we understand each other. This all happened because the villagers feared me. They condemned me before I did anything. I wonder if it's a parallel to how the story will go. If you're unfamiliar with this, this is my green notebook where I noted down my theories. And at the end of the show, we go through them and see which ones I guessed and which ones I did not. You. Not you. So, the evil isn't actually evil, right? There's the mention in the ending that we've seen of, the truth might be something, right? The truth might be hard to swallow, something along those lines. Now we see this hero fights the demon lord, and it turns out the demon lord was just misunderstood, right? You can see some of those themes, so I wonder if they will spread throughout the entire show and throughout the entire narrative, or are they just there? We'll see. Hero kick, hero punch. And we make the most of our youth with extracurricular activities like this. Yeah, it's no wonder that they have been chosen for the heroes, right? Do we see anything peculiar in those shots? Low water level, signifying environmental issues, dying world, something like that. I know. I might be, thinking about it too much. Anything peculiar about the city? Not really, just a normal city. A lot of torii gates and a lot of shrines. But, I mean, that's basically Japan, isn't it? Although, those things seem to be everywhere, right? There's those bamboos with some paper around, like a sacred boulder or whatever. It really seems like whatever the, holy tree religion is practiced here, it's very widespread, right? Interesting. I'm just gonna note it down real quick that a religion is important and ever present. Not really a theory, just an observation. I wonder if it will be relevant, though. And it's especially seen here, right? Usually it's like raise, bow, goodbye. But no, raise, bow, face the divine tree. Everybody knows what's the direction, right? Like turning and praying towards Mecca. Essentially, the divine tree is their Mecca. And now goodbye. Yeah, religion is weirdly ever present here. Club work. Do we see anything more interesting in those little vignettes? Just a normal school. Nothing particularly peculiar about it. Hero Club room. I fully expected their club to be either completely unsanctioned and they're meeting somewhere in like a, I don't know, abandoned place, abandoned classroom on the outskirts of the school complex or something like that, which is fairly common trope. Alternatively, I expected them to be on paper, to be a completely unrelated club to their actual, you know, what they actually do, right? I expected them to be a manga club, a IT club, or whatever, something like that. But no, apparently good and proper hero club. Collectible cards or tarot? I don't know, could be either. She has some art supplies, maybe she's making them. Here's the puppets on the top of the closet. They have a ladder that leads just to a wall, nowhere in particular. Yeah, 5 tenets. Give people a good greeting, try not to give up, sleep well, eat well. If you're troubled, talk to someone. You're likely to succeed if you try. I mean, those are good words to live by. Absolutely. Wouldn't elevate them to the rank of tenets myself, but sure. Sure. School-wide campaign to find these kids' owners. Right, so... so wait, they already found those kittens, but they're looking for owners? Or are they looking for lost kittens? Yeah, that's a website made in jQuery. Still trying to... No, not actually not trying to support Internet Explorer 9, but rather saying outright Canvas support for IE 8 and below is not there. A Chrome experiment to something fireworks over London. Loading jQuery. jQuery UI is only used for the nice slider controls. That's a comment. All right. Fireworks. Fireworks is a library, I believe, jQuery library for like complex animations. I wonder what website it is. I wonder. Nice to see it though. I'm looking everywhere for peculiarities, but I really don't see that many. The world doesn't even seem like particularly technologically advanced either. Interesting. I would have some decisions made before the summer break. Right, that would give you time to prepare for whatever you need over the summer break, should there be a need for that. Of course. I really like those details. I really like that her being wheelchair bound is not something they just hand wave, right? As I mentioned, I probably wouldn't think of this. I would probably have Yuuna just cart her over, right? Because they live next to each other, they're neighbors, so might as well have Yuuna bring her there without any car, anything like that. But no, they went the extra mile, and they have this car. And I see the subs for hearts are like moved. They should be inside of the erased Japanese text. Service center helping hearts. That's a really nice detail to see this wheelchair lift. Interesting that that she was like the first magical girl here. Usually, either the whole group gets, at least I feel from my like limited experience with magical girl shows, usually it's either the whole group that stumbles up. Is it though? No, no, actually. Usually it's not the main character who's the first. Usually there's someone that the main character gets involved with, and that pulls them into the world of magical girls, and this seems to be the case. Yeah, okay, scratch what I said initially. You're all the family I have. Right. I can't remember their names, so let's just say blonde girls family perished in Meguka related incident. Maybe they were killed by vectors or something like that. Although we don't know how much influence the enemies of humanity have over this actual world, right? All of the fighting so far, which was like a single fight, so it's not a measurable sample size, but all of the fighting has been taking place in the world tree world, it seems, right? So I wonder if it even can move into the real world, or is all the fighting done on the branches of the world tree? And if that fighting fails, only then do vectors move to the real world, or maybe they don't even have a purpose to go to the real world because their goal, their target is the divine tree. So why would they go into the real world if they can get to the divine tree from within the realm of the divine tree, right? Interesting. Would be interesting to see them having to fight in that world that's kind of detached from the real one. It would lower the stakes, I feel, but in an interesting way, where you no longer have to worry about, I don't know, your school being blown up by the vectors, because the school and the vectors don't exist on the same plane of existence, right? I wonder where it's gonna go. Another example of this accommodation that I really like, and you can see all the cables that lead to it, and you can see that they were mounted here like post factum. First the school was built, and then someone thought, oh shit, we should probably put in like a wheelchair elevator, and they mounted the cables on the ceiling and on the wall after the fact instead of driving them underneath. Cool detail. Cool detail. Caricat. She's of course the whatchamacallit, the airhead. Very much like Hibiki-ish archetype. Forest eyes. Yeah, not frost, not frostation, forest eyes. A vertex approaching, deployed to protect humanity. I really thought I downloaded a faulty video, because even the sound has stopped. Everything just stopped. Is this the effect that vectors have of the real world? They just stop the time? Or is it a countermeasure created by whatever organization so that if you need to deploy to fight a vector, nobody notices that you are missing because the local space has been frozen? It also introduces another like out for us, right? I'm gonna be comparing to Symphogear because it kind of reminds me of Symphogear. In Symphogear, there was a threat to the real world, right? the noise would come and they would start destroying buildings and killing people. Not so much here. At least so far, it doesn't seem to be the case. You fight in another world, so that risk, I guess, is removed. In Symphogear, when Hibiki would have to disappear for some time to go fight Noise, it was a big deal because she might have missed some classes. She might have made Miku wary, right? So she was close to being discovered. Not here. The time freezes. So you go out, you defeat the vectors, you sit back down, you press the button, and it's as if nothing ever happened. Interesting. I wonder if that protection is going to start crumbling, and the vectors will start slowly but surely encroaching into the real world. Huh. That's actually plausible. How do I note it down? The protection of time stop and fights in another reality crumbles. Heroes have to fight in real time in real world. Wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Yeah, and this confirms that she knows exactly what's going on. And it's a Technicolor flood. Or rather, it's a rift in reality. Yeah, it's a rift in reality that spreads and creates a weird ledge, creates some amazing music, and rainbow water starts pouring over and eventually creates a tsunami that washes you into the World Tree world. Interesting. Does this event have any sort of repercussions for the real world? Or does everything just go back to how it was? Like, I don't see windows shattering, so it probably doesn't have any effect on the real world. Also, a lot of flower petals everywhere, and their henshins also have to do with flowers and plants, and the song, the ending song also mentions like bloom into whatever, right? Very flower themed, seems to be. Yeah, that's the Divine Tree world. Our everyday life was put on hold literally because the time has stopped. Not a dream. And yeah, 3 weird apps. Even the battery indicator is a leaf. Also a very like 2014 design to a phone, isn't it? Interesting that Megukaness, for the lack of a better term, seems to be sanctioned by whatever government organization or shadow government organization, or call it what you will, right? It's interesting that there's like an official app that if you happen to become a magical girl, this app will help you. But at the same time, it's not like openly known, it's not overt that something like that exists. Are regular humans kept in ignorance? Probably. Do prayers to the Divine Tree strengthen it? And that's why religion is so important. That's why everybody prays to the Divine Tree. Yep. Praying to the divine tree strengthens it, and we might not actually want it to be strong. I'm already starting to look for like conspiracies here, that maybe someone wants to utilize the power of the divine tree. That's why they brainwash the population into praying to it to strengthen it. And the vectors really just want to bring back the natural order of the world. So they want to eliminate the divine tree that wasn't there, but was created for some purpose, right? Maybe. Maybe actually. Actually, maybe. Divine tree is artificial. Vectors simply want to restore the natural order. Yeah, thankfully we have someone who knows what's going on. Hidden feature automatically activates whenever this happens. This is also very interesting to me because it implies that there is some scientific understanding of what's going on here. Some sort of understanding to make technology observe that. Maybe there is a unique magnetic radiation that the phone is able to capture. Maybe it's because your GPS points at negative coordinates. Maybe it's because the gravitometer does something weird, or, right? Something. Interesting. Because usually I would think that this is like a fully magical world, right? Magical, whimsical, fantastical. Everything is magic. Not your henshin is activated with an app. Right? I wonder how that is going to be significant. That you don't have, I know, a magical ring that's always with you, and it has a magical girl stone from a comet of dreams that helps you henshin, but rather it's a fucking app. Interesting marriage of technology and magic. Also, interestingly, the two sisters are in the shadow, and Yuuna and her friend are not. I wonder if that's significant whatsoever. Probably not. But I'm really looking for symbolism here. That's what magical girl shows got me used to. Enemies, yeah. Enemies of the world tree. And enemies of the humanity, of course. Where are we? We are, yeah, in the divine tree. I was dispatched from the Taisha. Taisha seems to be their like religious governmental organization. Taisha, I'm gonna note it down. Hidden or overt? That's a question. Also interesting that she was dispatched from there. Not like chosen by the powers that be, but rather the Taisha picked a high schooler and tasked her with picking 3 other high schoolers to fight the vectors, right? Yeah, barrier created by the divine tree. Okay, so I guess the goal of the vectors is to break through that barrier. This is essentially like a no man's land between the world of vectors and the world of humans. And if you don't finish the fight here, the vectors can go to the human world. Something along those lines? Probably. enemies, yeah. A Virgo class vector, so we're doing Zodiac here. Western Zodiac, no less. Mimori, Yuuna, Fuu and Itsuki. Right. Already selected their colors. And this is our CG enemy. Looks interesting, but weirdly non-menacing. Like, it looks vaguely Maho Shoujo-y. And by that I mean... Weird thought. It looks like something that a magical girl would transform into. I don't know if there's anything to that, but it kind of looks like that, right? Tattered clothes that are also translucent. You can almost see like remnants of a bow, the colors, right? Maybe. Vectors used to be Megukas. Maybe I'm drawing a little bit too much of a parallel to Madoka Magica and the Witches, but I know, it just kind of has this vibe. Vertexes' objective is to reach the source of blessings for this world, the Divine Tree. The Taisha determined that we were most suited for the job. Right, National Middle School Hero Aptitude Report. Why middle schoolers? Why middle schoolers? Why can't you take like grown women, for example, right? I would watch a Mahou Shoujo show where every single magical girl is like a woman in her 40s. It would be interesting to see for sure. Sapling. Right, she has a sapling. And yeah, of course, she doesn't want to fight. She feels like she cannot fight. Probably because of her legs, among other things. If she was fully able, I would believe she would not have this reaction, but she knows that she's not even necessarily able to run away, let alone fight. And I have a feeling that Henshin, once she finds enough strength to Henshin, this issue of her legs will be fixed, unless we leave that for the end. Ooh. I again forgot her name, so I'm just gonna note her down as Wheelchair Girl. Wheelchair Girl Henshins at the very end to save her friends, regains full mobility when henshined. Right? She's gonna be the member of the group who doesn't henshin, who thinks that she doesn't, who thinks that she can't, or maybe she doesn't want to, or maybe she's too afraid to. But then at the very end, when push comes to shove, she does it for her friends, for the nakama, and she turns the tides of battle. I can see that happening. And here we see the Henshin sequence. As I said, a nice mixture of the classic Henshin, where the entire body turns a solid color and then burst and it's a full Henshin, because we see like bits and pieces of that, and a mixture of the Henshin where individual parts, individual elements of the costume appear like individually. Right? Between Sailor Moon and Symphogear, as I said. Very similar, not very similar, but kind of similar close style to Mami. Maybe because of all the yellow, but also the like flower and stuff. And yeah, even her ribbons, or scrunchies rather, change color. She gains some nice hairstyle, new kicks. Of course, we gotta have an upskirt shot and a symbol of a flower. I'm willing to bet it's a particular flower that means something. And it's Zweihande. Not just a regular Zweihande, it's a cleaver. Two-handed huge broadsword, and it's really cool. I like it. She's the tank of the team would be my bet. And then we get the second Henshin of her sister, who is also themed around a flower, but a different one this time. Some sort of like white bells. And yeah, and that's also on her app. And again, solid color, but also appears... individual elements appear individually. And she has her mark on the back, not on her thigh. A bow transforms into a bow. That was a very necessary transformation, right? Yep, a green bow transforms into a green bow, but longer. An armpit shot this time around. And her weapon seems to be like flower wires or something. She wields a garrote. That was a nice... those were nice Henshin sequences. I wonder if they grow more and more elaborate as the seasons go on. That was the theme for Symphogear, so I wonder if something similar is gonna take place here. Fairy that protects this world. Right, so they do get their individual fairies, but they don't get them like in the real world, right? They don't carry them around in their school bags, but rather they're Pokemon that join them willingly, essentially on their travels throughout this world. Interesting. Some kind of weapon appeared. Yeah, dodge. That's a Meguka jump. And that's a CG Meguka. Yeah. Them falling is CG, but when they are shown like talking and in general important, it's not CG. No, sorry, it's CG. Not like all that visible though, so it's whatever. Yeah, 4 wires with flowers on the tops of them, on the ends of them rather. You kept this a secret for our sakes. Yep, of course. And yeah, you are a real hero, aren't you? It's in accordance to all of our tenets and whatnot. And a choice, of course, as always. Do I stay as I am, safe, in ignorance, or do I press the button, Henshin, and join my friends and help them? They need my help. I have to do it. And so she does. Trembling hands, but she does it. That's bravery. And yeah, and she does the best thing possible. Partial Henshin. I fucking love partial Henshin. More partial Henshin, please, I beg of you. And amazing music, of course. Yeah, first a hand, then a leg, and as she uses her brawler style, she henshins limb by limb, part by part, and eventually entirely. Yep, hero punch. That left an impression of her fist, didn't it? Come on. Faster. Yeah, going back in time is way slower. Yep, that's an impression of her fist. That's a bro fist right there. That's a PewDiePie logo. Yep, Yuuki Yuuna ex machina. Nice pose, I will be a hero declaration. That will probably bring her a lot of grief. That's my bet. That's my bet, that it starts all heroic like, right? Oh, I will be a hero. And then eventually, I don't want to be a hero anymore. That's my bet. But eventually, at the end, she decides that yes, she does want to be a hero after all. Nowhere in the ending do we see the wheelchair girl getting henshined. Curiously. Divine Tree, please protect us. There we go. There we go. So no Frieren. Now we need to whoop. And no. Wrong button. Right button. Now we need to take a look at the anime, as promised. First, details about the anime, 12 times 24 minutes, finished 2014, I was correct on that. Studio Gokumi, I'm unfamiliar with it, so let's check it out right quick. Oh, they made the vending machine isekai. Interesting. Shimatsu no Harem, Kiniro Mosaic, Laidbackers, Tonari no Kyokutsuki-san. Anything else that I would recognize? A lot of Yuuki Yuuna, of course, because there's a lot of Yuuki Yuuna. Kokaku no Pandora. And before Yuuki Yuuna, there was Kiniro Mosaic, there was A-Channel, and Koeda Oshigoto, and other shows. Oda Nobuna as well. So that is the stuff. Similar shows, Madoka Magica, Symphogear, of course, Granbelm, Made in Abyss, apparently, and Blue Reflection Ray, whatever that is. Primarily teen cast, superpower, female protagonist, Magic Henshin. Primarily female cast, God's Philosophy School Club, ensemble cast, Disability, CGDCT, Guns, Swordplay, Urban Fairy, primarily child cast, School Tsundere, CGI, and spoilers. Okay, let's take a look at the staff. There's probably a lot of stuff involved. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff involved. We are, of course, not going to go through all of them. Just the most important members of the staff, I guess. Original plan, whatever that means, by Takahiro. Original character design by Bunbun. Original plan, Takahiro. He founded the adult game brand Minatosoft. Script for Yuri. Original story for Matosei no Slave. Interesting. Yuuki Yuuna. Samurai Flamenco script. Akame ga Kill original story. Shoujo Tachi wa Koya wo Mezasu. Yeah, that's a lot of manga. Akame ga Kill, Yuuki Yuuna. Yeah, I know what to expect now. Hopefully not to the Akame ga Kill degree. Please don't. Bunbun. Bunbun is the character designer, original character designer, who also designed characters for SAO, Sakura Quest, Izetta, SAO, Oreimo, and manga character design for all of the same shows. Yuuki Yuuna shows, manga. Yuuki Yuuna, Nogiwaka Bawayusha, Kusunoki Mebuki wa Yusha, I'm guessing spin-offs of Yuuki Yuuna. Yeah, Yuuki Yuuna, SAO, and assorted spin-offs mostly. So it's based on a manga? Probably. Director, Seiji Kishi, who also directed Kengan Ashura, Yuuki Yuuna, Radiant, Kengan Ashura, Asobi Asobeis, Radiant, Danganronpa, Persona, Hamatora, Kamisama Dolls, Seto no Hanayome, and some older shows as well. Angel Beats director, apparently. Yeah, I I know what to expect now, and I fear it. Character designer Takahiro Sakai, who was also a character designer for Hoshizuku Telepath, Vending Machine Isekai, of course, Yuuki Yuuna, Laid Backers, more Yuuki Yuuna, Psychopath, Shakugan no Shana, third and second season, but key animation on a single episode of Toradora. Who else am I interested in? And main animators, of course, and art directors. Absolutely. That's a lot of music. Okay, let's go first through the main animators. First one being Mitsuaki Takabe, who also animated Osama Ranking, Final Fantasy, Vinland Saga, Kabaneri, Shingeki no Kyojin, Laidbackers, Mahotsukai no Yome, like individual episodes, Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, of course, Yuuki Yuuna, and before Yuuki Yuuna, Lupin the Third, Psychopass, Evangelion, Kara no Kyokai. Then we have Hiroshi Tanabe, key animation on Yofukashi no Uta, which, by the way, is getting a second season that I'm gonna be watching. You can be sure of that. Yuuki Yuuna, of course, Seishun Butayaro, Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso, Psychopass, Steins Gate, Hayate no Gotoku, and Monogatari. Then we have art director Ayumi Miyakoshi, also Yuuki Yuuna, Wonder Egg Priority, Psychopass, Made in Abyss, Persona, and also art director Kazuto Shitayama, who directed art for Shy, curiously. Made in Abyss background art and a couple of other background arts. Not that much in his portfolio. Music, there's a lot of music people. Kuniyuki Takahashi, Monaka, Keigo Hoashi, Keiichi Okabe, Kakeru Ishihama. Alright, music. Kuniyuki Takahashi also did music for Working, I can already see. Nanana no Maizokin, great show, highly recommend it. Working as well, by the way. Another amazing show. Yaha Ore. What else do we have here that I recognize? Beastars, Halloween Pajama, Nier Automata, Liar Liar, Shangri-La Frontier music. Yup, I can hear that. I can see that. Absolutely. And Monaka, Nier, of course, Shangri-La Frontier, Aharen-san, Yuuki Yuuna, some chibis, minis, Assassin's Pride, basically the same shows. Working, Niskoi OVA, Star Drive, Nanana, Maizokin, Nyarko-san, Working, second season. Keigo Hoashi, music for Saihate no Paladin, Nier, of course, Saihate no Paladin, first and second season. Yuuki Yuuna, all of Yuuki Yuuna, Kizumonogatari, Working. More Yuuki Yuuna. Star Driver. Initially, I thought this is Darling in the Franxx because the design of the robot is very similar, but no, not Darling in the Franxx. Keiichi Okabe, also music, also for Nier Automata, also for all of the Yuuki Yuuna shows and spin-offs, also Working, also Niskoi. They are all affiliated with Monaka, of course, yeah. And Kakeru Ishihama, also affiliated with Monaka. And also, to nobody's surprise, Working, Frame Arms Girls, Vivi, Of course, Yuuki Yuuna, Star Driver, same shows. Script. There is a lot of script writers, so let's grab all of them. Anybody else I would be particularly curious about? I'm not going to go through all of the animation directors. I'm sorry, there's just too many people involved. But yeah, Makoto Uezu, script also for, serious composition for Konosuba, script for Radiant, no, serious composition for Radiant, serious composition for Kengan Ashura, also serious composition for Yuuki Yuuna, more Konosuba, Boruto, more Konosuba, Ansatsu Kyoshitsu, Defrag, another amazing series, highly recommended. Arslan Senki, it was cool from what I remember, although I don't think I finished watching it, and I don't remember all that much of it. Korwa Zombie Deska, another cool show. Mahou Shoujo, oddly enough. Seiko no Quasar! Hey, Seiko no Quasar mentioned. Seiko no Quasar is... give it a shot, if you're curious. It has one of the best magic systems or power systems that I've seen, but also the source of mana is sucking on women's tits. The fatter they are, the better. So both of them might be upsides for you, absolutely, but you know, just thought I'm gonna mention that. It's not like hentai, oddly enough, but yeah, Seiko no Quasar, I actually recommend checking it out at least. School Days, serious composition as well. A lot of serious composition roles. Then we have Takahiro. We already saw him. Yeah, the founder of the Minato Soft and original plan and also script as mentioned. And then we have Aoi Akashiro, who did script for Seven Seeds, for Release the Spice, Killing Bites, Fuka, Konosuba, and some manga. What is that? I'm gonna have to read it. Yeah, the spin-offs of Yuuki Yuuna. Yep, that goes to my read later. And yeah, that's gonna be the staff. So let's take a look at the seiyuu, shall we? I expected to see more characters here, but apparently we're only gonna be interacting with our 4 girls and like 2 other people, probably 2 fresh magical girls, maybe enemies to allies kind of a thing. I don't know, we'll see. Let's see. Yuuna Yuuki, voiced by Haruka Terui. Haruka Terui, who also voiced Laila in Raiza, Lange and Zenze in Soso no Frieren, someone in Body Daddies, earlier Yuuna, like 2 different forms of Yuuna, Yuuna and the cooler Yuuna, and the older Yuuna, I don't know. Anybody else I recognize here? Let's see, someone in Cinderella Girls. And animist. Not that many roles, oddly enough. World Witches theme song performance. I'm assuming also had a role in World Witches. Yeah, Brave Witches, Georgette. I expected a little bit like more roles for her, but no, apparently not. Next we have Mimori Tougou, voiced by Suzuko Mimori. Mimori voices Mimori. What a coincidence. What just happened? Oh, I detached the tab? Yeah, I for some reason detached the tab. Anyway, Suzuko Mimori, voice of Togo. Togo? Togo. Yeah, I got that right. Also voices someone in something. I thought I recognized this character, but I don't recognize the series. Also voiced Namiko in Gridman. I have to watch Gridman one of those days. Maria in Date Alive. Mimori Tougou, of course. Hikari from Shoujo Kageki Review Starlight. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Rurumo in Majimoji Rurumo. Cool, cute series. I can also recommend that. Hikari, of course, we've seen that. Roma in Tokyo Ghoul. Who else do we have here? Pipimi, but who hasn't voiced Pipimi, of course. Kanae in TQ. Another cool show that will give you brain damage, so I know, risk reward. make the decision. Kanzashi in Infinite Stratos. And who else? More Rurumo. Someone in Senran Kagura. Sherlock in Milky Holmes. And that's that, and some theme song performances. Next we have Fuu Inubouzaki. Fuu Inubouzaki, voiced by Yumi Uchiyama, who also voices Puck in ReZero, Rudius in Mushoku Tensei. Interesting. Also Un in Undead Unluck. I still have to watch it one of these days. Kengan Ashura, Bleach. Mare Bellofiore in Overlord. Interesting. Yeah. Fu, Puck. As already mentioned, more Mare. Coach in Kase-san. Someone from Hinamatsuri. Someone from Trigatsu no Lion. And not that many people that I would recognize at a glance. Oh, Bozes Copalesti from Gate. That's a familiar face. I have to rewatch Gate one of these days. Mio Otori from Sabagebu. Sabagebu, amazing series. Go and watch it now. Highly recommend it. One of the best comedy shows that I've seen, honestly. And some other roles that I don't entirely... Hazuki from Plastic Nessan. Another recommendation. It's just half an hour for the entire series because it's like 5-minute long episodes. Go and watch it. It's amazing. If you don't have anything to do with half an hour, watch Plastic Nessan. Next, we have Itsuki Inubouzaki, voiced by Tomoyo Kurosawa. Tomoyo Kurosawa, who also voiced Ayano from Yuru Camp. Naomi from Metallic Rouge. Maybe. Pink from Maho Shoujo, Magical Destroyers, Vash the Stampede from Trigun, Nobuko from Jujutsu Kaisen, Aya from Undead Girl Murder Farce, Amiya from Arknights, Rebecca from Cyberpunk, P7 from Girls Frontline, aka Those Frontline, Shino from Akiba Maid Senso. That's a lot of roles I recognize. Mutsu from Azure Lane, someone from Rail Romanesque, Kengan Ashura, Kanata no Astra, Cinderella Girls, now from Hisomaso, Phosphophyllite from Hoseki no Kuni, another show that I have to watch one day or another, Tina Sprout from Black Bullet, and Ulti from One Piece. And the two unfamiliar faces are Karin Miyoshi, voiced by Juri Nagatsuma, who also voiced Kuka from Precon, Abercrombie from Azure Lane, a lot of gacha roles, it seems, Sylvia from Grisaya. I have to finish Grisaya one day. I've seen 2 seasons and then just kind of stopped. Who else? Satone from Chunibyo. Nobody else that I would recognize at a glance, I'm afraid, and that's gonna be it. And finally, Sonoko Nogi, voiced by Kana Hanazawa. That's a familiar name. That's a familiar name because she voiced, for example, Mitsuri from Kimetsu no Yaiba. Who else? Why do I recognize that name? Envy Adams from Scott Pilgrim. Not that I have seen Scott Pilgrim, the new one, so that can't be where I recognize her from. What could it be? Urusei Yatsura, again, haven't seen it. Ost, of course, Ost Horai from Tate no Yusha, and Kuroe from Magia Record. Yeah, that's where I know her from. Of course, Aoi from Precon. Mayumi from Mahoka Koko no Red Tousei and also Youth Tousei. Red Blood Cell from Hataraku Saibo. Nene from Shokugeki no Soma. Blamey Shine from Arc Knights. I'm currently raising her because I kinda... I know, I have nothing else to do with materials, so I thought I'm gonna raise Blamey Shine. Rize from Tokyo Ghoul. Who else? Someone from Owari Monogatari, Tenshin no 3P. Thrigatsu no Lion. That's a metric ton of roles. Onodera, of course, from Nisekoi. Mikan from To Love Ru. Very memorable roles, of course. How many shows have you voiced in? How long am I gonna be scrolling? We're only at 2013 right now. Kobato from Boku wa Tomogachi. More Kobato. Black Rock Shooter in Black Rock Shooter. Interesting. Haven't seen it, just, you know, for the record. Humika from Seiko no Quasar. Again, Seiko no Quasar mentioned. Okay, it still continues. It still continues all the way to 2008. 7, 6, 3. There we go. We are finally done with her portfolio. That's a lot of roles. Holy shit, that's a metric ton of roles. Alright then. And yeah, there is so much movie, TV series, light novel, TV, light novel, manga, movie, TV short, manga, music. I'm gonna be watching a lot of Yuuki Yuuna, I have a feeling. Okay, so that was a really good first episode. I'm in. I'm absolutely in. I'm interested. I'm captivated. I want to continue watching for sure. It was just the first episode and I already have like half a page covered in theories. Let that speak for itself, right? Great production quality, I noticed. I don't know what exactly was I expecting. I certainly wasn't expecting something, you know, on the level of Symphogear or Madoka Magica, and it's kind of what I got, like production-wise. And I'm not talking early Symphogear, I'm talking like mid to late Symphogear. Okay, maybe not late Symphogear, but like mid-run Symphogear. And again, it's just the first episode. Some CG here and there that was definitely noticeable, but also it's a 2014 series. So what are the expectations for that, right? Cool characters. I like the entirety of the cast so far. I wonder about Mimori Tougou, though. The fact that she's in a wheelchair, it will not be inconsequential. She's in a wheelchair for a reason, and that reason will come and bite us in the ass. I 100% expect that. Interesting stage we have set up for our story as well. Interesting world that kinda skirts the balance between multiple archetypes of a Mahou Shoujo show in multiple regards, right? Some people know about Mahou Shoujos and the threat, but not the general populace. The Mahou Shoujo thing is magical, but also there's that technology fraction to it, right? That technology element. Henshins are solid color henshins, but also elements henshin individually, right? There's that nice balance between the classic Mahou Shoujo and the more, I don't know, modern, I guess, Mahou Shoujo. Between the pre-Madoka and post-Madoka era, I guess I could say. It's interesting. It's also interesting how there are no stakes, as in, like, immediate stakes. Being, we have to stop the vectors or they will crash into the, whatchamacallit, cultural festival and a lot of people will die. No, we completely get rid of the immediate stakes by introducing the time stop and by moving the fight to a separate dimension, but we keep the global stakes of if you fail, the world will be destroyed. So I wonder how they're gonna balance that, because I always find personal stakes more appealing, personally, to me. It was one of my biggest criticisms of later seasons of Symphogear, that we went full on into saving the world and we just kind of forgot saving our friends and helping the local community and stuff like that. That were much more personal stakes. Not as high, of course, but personal, and through that a little bit more important, to me at least. So I wonder how and whether they will introduce any sort of personal stakes like that, close to earth, down to earth stakes. I would very much like it, but I wonder how could they possibly achieve that if the fighting will really be taking place in another dimension and the time will be stopped in the current dimension, in the real world rather. Anything else of note? Great henshin sequences, of course, as I mentioned. I'm overjoyed that I was able to see a partial henshin because it was really missing. I really wanted to see partial henshins in Symphogear. I wanted to see them in Review Starlight, in Madoka Magica. None of those shows gave me partial henshin. Yuuki Yuuna gave me partial henshin. Already gained like half a score up just for that fact alone, honestly. If you know any other shows that have partial henshin, please tell me. Please tell me so that I can put them up on a poll and maybe watch them one day, because I don't know, it's just one of my favorite tropes, personally. I'm not sure if it was in Power Rangers. I think it was. Yeah, I think that's where I get the love for partial henshins. When I was watching Power Rangers as a kid, that was just so cool to see, like, you know? And it was also cool to see from like a technical standpoint, now that I know how Power Rangers were made, right? How they got the suit combat scenes from Japanese shows, and the actors uncovered were filmed in the US, and then they glued those two together, stitched them back. So seeing one of the Rangers having partial suit on them, that was cool, because it means they sent the suit from Japan to the US, or the people in the US had to recreate that suit or part of it. So it was nice just technically, and it's also nice in shows like that, in Mahou Shoujo shows, because you no longer just have the unhenshined model and the henshined model, you also need something in between, and that's where the fun is. I really find a lot of fun in those like things in between, like this world, the stage that we have said is in between, the henshins are in between. I just really enjoy that. So, to sum it up, to not take any more of your time than already over an hour and a half, great first episode. I'm gonna really like watching this. I can already tell. And you guys, you tell me, how did you like this episode in the comments down below? Of course, no spoilers, please. I beg of you. Spoilers you can talk about on my Discord here, also in the description below. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to be notified of future releases of not only Yuuki Yuuna, but also Frieren, Shangri-La Frontier, Majo to Yaju, plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified when I go live, because I do sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Yuuki Yuuna. For $5 you can vote on them whenever that vote is up, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube via memberships, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And maybe there are some Yuuki Yuuna fan communities who would like to see my reaction to it, so spread the word, remember. And yeah, with all of that being said, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, The Group Survivor, Zay Rainer, Michael Spaulding, Marco-san, Yuki Ally, Dr. Watt, Akamasar, Marsh, Fussel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them as well without needing an app for Henshin.